Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I want to talk about the Cryptoys platform and the Star Wars collectibles that they have there and the other things they're doing today. I want to talk all about this. I spent the last day or two really looking into this, watching other people's videos, watching the Cryptoys themselves do their live stream, asking questions and just looking around, and I really wanted to give you my thoughts about this platform and what it means, for VV users and Star Wars and digital collecting in general. And so I'm going to get into this in just a second. Just make sure that you comment down below. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think about what's going on here, because it's quite exciting for me, actually. This is like quite an interesting development for sure, in digital collecting. And I have a few key things about it that really stand out for me for sure, right? So if you do like the video, make sure you hit like. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe or join the channel as a member. You can get into my rewards programs I have every week for OMI. And we also have, comic books, VV gems, and I'll be adding more stuff as well. Just hit the join button. You'll get your free Drophead NFT, which is my own NFT project, and I'll get you into the rewards for sure. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back, and we can continue to talk about all this stuff over there, right? So over here on my screen, you can see I have their website, Cryptoys. Now, like I said, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. If anyone follows my channel, you know that I'm a member of the 501st Legion. I'm a crazy Star Wars collector in real world. So when I see new Star Wars stuff, it always gets my attention. Now, when this company also put out He-Man before with their Mattel license, because they have that as well, I was really intrigued at that point as well. I didn't actually go in and buy any of those at that point. I'm still watching, but they're still available to purchase, so I'm still looking at those as well because I'm an 80s kid and He-Man was like right in my wheelhouse. I have lots of vintage He-Man toys in my collection physically, right? And I'll show you those one day because they're pretty fun. But Star Wars now comes out as well. And the first thing I want to tell you about this, before I get into anything about the company or about my thoughts about the company, is that this is good. This is a good thing, you guys. I know there's some people who have, expressed some concerns in the VV community, for example, or I don't know if they're true VV users, but the notion that, Star Wars IP is not just only on VV now, it's on another platform. And this is actually a good thing, okay? And the reason why it's a good thing is because it just draws more attention to the whole space in general, the digital collecting space that is evolving. This is what's happening. The world is going this direction. And the fact that Disney and Star Wars is, working with another company is a good thing. And the cool thing about it is that the stuff that's going on Cryptoys is different than the stuff that's on VV. And that's okay. If you actually look at their toys and everything, we'll talk about it as well. I'll show you what they look like. They're different than the stuff that's on VV. And that's the way it is when it comes to collecting. There's so many different kinds of toys and collectibles you can get in the Star Wars fandom alone, different shapes and sizes and all that stuff. And so this is a new kind of like toy you can collect over on a different platform and have a fun, different experience. For me, that's totally fine. It doesn't actually affect for me any of the IP and stuff like that that's on VV. It actually just adds to it. And I will talk about a little bit about how easy it is to get into this. And that is another big indication right here about how Disney and Star Wars see the digital collecting space and how they're trying to open it up to the masses, right? So here's the website right here. And Luke, Leia, and Vader drop on May 24th. So that's pretty cool. So they're going to have those characters right there. We got Vader over on VV as well, and then you got this little dude right here, and you can see how they look. They look a lot like, Funko Pops, or that kind of style of figure. And you can see those Star Wars ones right here. They're kind of fun like that. And that's okay because over on like say VV, for example, they have like, more, high premium figures, kind of like 1/6 scale type stuff. But there's all sorts of different kinds of Star Wars toys. And these are really cool, in my opinion. They look really good. They're a lot of fun. They have like that nice look to them, nice lighting. They look like they're really well designed. I watched the whole video, with the whole team, and they went through the release and they showed the different variations. You're going to have like different ones with Vader with this like helmet off and all that kind of stuff. They're all in the kind of blind box format. and you can like go in and you can actually like, just go for one and see what you get. And of course, with Princess Leia and, of course, like Anakin Skywalker, they're all pretty cool, right? They have all this stuff, and there's more waves coming and all that. And we can review all of those individual toys. This video is more about the company itself, right? So if you actually click on the about right here, you can just read a little bit about the company. And here is the thing that I like, that I really like what they're saying right here. And this actually, goes along with my channel and how I describe what we're doing in the space and how Vivi looks at it and how other companies like the DC platform, with the NFTs looks at it as well. We are entering a new era for toys, collectibles, and games, right? And I've been saying this, I made a whole video about it. The digital age is here, everybody, and this is the way to interact. And I really like the way that they have their mind here, the way that they describe it. We're one where the possibilities of fandom are limitless and unrestricted by the physical limitations of manufacturing, supply chains, or retail. So they understand like this is a new space, a new area, a new way to actually go in and collect. And this is how it's been for me with the digital collecting world, coming from the background of physical collecting. This is exactly the power behind this. Is what I'm saying. The world is going this way. The youth is going this way. We're all on our devices having fun. And how you can interact and play with these new digital collectibles, this Cryptoys platform looks to be trying to provide that kind of like experience. So I'm quite excited about it. Now, I do have some like questions about it that I will cover in just a second. I'll give you my positives and my questions in just a second. One really good thing is that they're with Dapper Labs as well. Now, if you know Dapper Labs, they did NBA Top Shot. You can see down in the corner, I can click on that and show you that. But that's the first NFT platform I ever got into, even before Vivi and before DC NFT and before other platforms I'm involved with, was NBA Top Shot because of my basketball, fandom and background. And so I know this company, they're quite good. They do it, Top Shot has its ups and downs as well, but it's a very solid development company for sure. Right now, here we go. I got some positives to talk about and some questions, okay? Because I want to keep this real. I don't want this to be like a hype video at all, okay? Like I'm just looking at this site with really clear, open eyes, just from now our experience in the space, right? So some of the positives I see is they have a really good working relationship, it sounds like, with Disney and Lucasfilm. And that is really cool because that shows that Disney and Lucasfilm are really interested, in this space, in the digital collecting space. And also the fact that, you're able to like just purchase these so easily shows another thing I'm going to talk about just a second about how Disney, and Star Wars and all of them, how they think about, where they're approaching the customer base they're approaching here. It's quite interesting, right? Second positive is they have a solid looking development team. You can see their video where they had the whole group up, and that's really cool to actually see the faces behind, some of the stuff they're doing. That's one thing I'd like to see more projects do, is show us who's actually working on the stuff right here. And of course, you can watch that video. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video too, in case you guys want to go watch it for sure. Another positive is they have a nice vision, okay, and a nice outlook on the digital collecting space. Like I said, what they're saying about the space itself, about what to do in this new world of digital collecting, that's the key for me. Not the fact that they're releasing Star Wars toys. It's how they're talking about it, is how they understand that this is a new place to be, a new kind of collecting, and not replacing the old kind of collecting, which is, still completely relevant, the physical world, which I have tons of, right? But I like how they're thinking about it, and that's a really good sign for me, how they actually talk about this new space. That's good. And the team, there's another positive. They look fun, excited, and enthusiastic. That's cool. They look like fans, we saw them there, and you can't really fake that. I mean, people are I'm just looking at their video, watching them talk about the stuff. They look really excited and stoked to even have Star Wars, and that's really cool because that means they're going to work their asses off, in my opinion. That's the way it seems. I don't know any of them. I'm not sponsored by them at all. This is just me talking, right? This is just me, by the way, right? Like I said. So the artwork also is another positive. Looks really good. It looks fun. Like I said, like, if you're into like, Funko Pops and like other kinds of small little toys like that, it's cool, right? Not all Star Wars fans are into that, but a lot of people are, and it's pretty fun. And you can run around and play with them and stuff like that. So that's cool. The future plans, that's another positive thing. The future plans look good, with their animations that they have on this stuff and the metaverse they're talking about and the gamification, prospects behind this. It all looks really kind of cool. Like, that's what their future, that's what they say. And so that looks really promising as well and fun. More things you can do with the toys is just how they described it, right? Another big thing right here, another positive is that they're easy to buy for mass adoption, because you can just use your credit card. So you can see this is another indication of the bigger picture here where like companies like Disney and the Amazon, site that's coming soon, how they have their like potential, like, where you just use your credit card. There's no like crypto pay in here, which is a drawback for a lot of people. Remember, Vivi takes a lot of, a lot of hits for that. So this is just another indication of how they want to make it easy for people to get in and still sell NFTs, which is pretty cool, right? And so, like I said, gamification, animation, metaverse potential, these are all positive. And the Dapper Labs, that's really cool for me. Now, questions, because this is also key as well. Like I said, this isn't a hype video. I'm not telling everybody to go out and buy these. This is the questions that I have, okay? And I'm still undecided whether or not I'm going to be putting money in and going for these drops. I'll probably go for the Star Wars drop just because I'd like to experience it and get in early. I think that's pretty cool, right? But the question is no clear timeline yet on major deliverables. You know what I mean? So there's still that soon thing going on. And as we've learned with other projects, that kind of thing can cause a lot of stress within communities. So they're going to have to be really tight about what they do about that and how they deliver. Because once people put their money into this, you can't pull your money out. And so, they're really going to have to be careful with that and make sure they're on the ball. And it sounds like the team is really good at communicating. So, I don't really have a lot of concerns about that, but it is a general, like, for sure concern. Interoperability potential. Now, we know that Disney and Vivi have had trouble with that. And we don't know if they're going to be able to do that on Cryptoys as well, if Disney's going to allow them to do that. But it sounds like they will. I mean, they said that in their live stream that this is something that, should happen. So we'll see as well, right? You never know. This is another question, right? There's no current marketplace, okay, right now on their site. You can't like buy or sell these, at all. So once you just get them, you're just going to have to look at them and play with them a bit. And that's a concern for me because, there is no way to kind of like do any of that. If I land a blind box right now, I can't go in and actually just like buy the one I really want. And, and so that for me is a concern, right? Do I put my money in or whatever, right? So that's a concern as well. There's no secondary market for selling and buying. Like I said, at this point, it's all coming apparently, right? It says it's soon. So, but you have to throw that in the mix right now if you're interested in going into this project, right? Just remember, I don't know the date on what that's going to happen. And they haven't put that date out. So there's no way to know how long you could wait, right? So we went through that with Vivi. We know how hard that can be for a lot of people. So that's a question too. There's a small audience right now. Now, this is a question, right? Because they have to build that audience. So remember, Star Wars IP doesn't just like populate platforms, for, just like there's a lot of different kinds of Star Wars toys out there. Some of them are successful, some of them aren't. So we'll see what happens with that. But it looks like they have a nice like build. They're trying to go after the right people, I think, in the space. So that's probably a good thing. The He-Man didn't sell out. It's still available, right? So that's a little interesting thing to think about as well. And that brings my question to a question about the price point of them being about $40. $39.99. I don't know if that's too high or what. I mean, the fact that the He-Man stuff didn't sell out, let's see how the team reacts to that kind of thing and see how this Star Wars drop does. And then we'll find out a bit more and hopefully they adjust a bit if it doesn't sell out as well. These are questions, right? And then, of course, buying based upon IP, the potential and promises. So that's the big question here, right? Is the potential and the promises and the stuff that they're actually looking at trying to do. I'm actually at a state in my, collecting journey where I like to know everything now and maybe only buy when I actually have all the information in front of me. We've learned that through other platforms where if you buy based on promises, you can, sometimes be disappointed. So temper your expectations and just be patient if you decide to go in on this. This is what my approach is going to be. But I'm pretty comfortable with how this, pretty much looks right here. I think it's probably a really good thing. I'm actually looking forward to it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is good for Vivi. This is good for the digital collecting space. This is good for DC NFT. This is good for HRO. This is good for everybody. more platforms doing things solid the right way. Now, like I said, a lot of questions, and we'll see how they answer them. I'm not fully sold on the project yet. I'm just looking at it very deeply, just like you guys are. These are my opinions only. Okay. Like I said, I'm not connected with the team in any way. You know, I don't have any sponsorship deals here or anything like that. This is just me sharing with you my thoughts. So now it's your turn. I want to know what you think about this project, what you're thinking about it over the next few weeks. We'll talk about it on my live streams. We'll get into it a bit, you know, and we'll just enjoy the fact that Star Wars is like out there and there's another kind of toy to collect, you know, at this particular time coming soon. It looks pretty fun to me. And so, you know, I would give it an approval at the moment, and we'll see where it goes from here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be doing more as time goes on. I'll see you in the next video, and happy collecting.